Y'all, can y'all hear me now?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, I
I've
can
been
hear you now.
talking. Great. I've been talking for 2 minutes. That's awesome. Okay, so hey everyone. All right. So yeah, there's a couple things, main topics for today. First thing I wanted to talk about was KMCP. So as some of you may know, a few weeks ago we made the decision to bring KMCP into Kagent. Um, we have been thinking about that a lot lately, and we actually think that was a bit of a mistake. So I'll take the mea culpa on that one, but I just wanted to briefly talk about that. Basically, you know, it's funny because KMCP or K agent, right? It has K agent in the name. And the ironic thing about agents is that most of the most of the industry and most of the community is really not at agents yet. Like that is actually very forward, right? That is actually a very like advanced topic that most people are still like the adoption curve for agents is like not there at all, right? It's not even early adopters. It's like, the bare bones. So but MCP is getting a ton of attention. I think it's a much more tractable problem that organizations are dealing with and thinking about. And so in that sense, we believe that it's important for K-Agent to have a solution for people who are really just interested in MCP and running MCP servers in their cluster and bootstrapping MCP servers and all that sort of stuff. And so we actually never got rid of any of the KMCP code. And so what we're thinking about is actually just not refocusing, but bringing in Brian Fox. He's not here today, but he had a PR a few weeks ago to basically make KMCP a full dependency of Kagent. And so the idea is actually to move forward with that path, which will allow a distinction between them, but allow for clean upgrades and inclusions. And that will really help accomplish all the different goals. So he was very kind, and he said I could take over his PR. And his one thing was he said, what did he say? Wait, I thought it was funny. He was like, I said, don't worry, I'll give you credit. And he said, as long as nobody comes after me with pitchforks and torches. So I said, no, absolutely not. It's on me. So yeah, I just wanted to update folks and see how people feel about that. I'm listening. I'm gonna go pour my coffee. All right, well done.
I think it's not very clear what will be the result of that, right? If you can give some more details. What is the impact?
Oh, his micro. Your microphone is gone. Your microphone is gone. So
Again, okay.
Yeah.
So the impact.
No, it's better.
The impact should be zero. Functionally, like from everyone's perspective, the impact should be zero, because the way it was working today is actually like we made the change a couple weeks ago, but there's no way anyone is actually using, like there's no way that, like the differences are so minute. And so let me actually bring up.
But maybe I'm missing a little bit from the timeline, because I know there was a PR to remove things or move internally. So what is now remaining? We keep it in part of the same controller, or we keep it?
No. So initially it was KMCP, separate CLI, separate controller.
Right.
Then there was a decision to say, well, let's move the CLI parts as well as the controller into Kagent, right? And now we're saying, no, just kidding. We're gonna go back to where we were originally.
Well, not just kidding. We thought about it a lot. We really don't.
I'm doing air quotes.
I understand. My point is, like, are we? You can solve it in multiple ways. You can keep the same code base, but probably have a different deployment definition. And
yes, I see. Yes, different help chart.
Exactly. But for example, the image of controller and everything could be the same and work the same way, and then we probably minimize any other things. Because I think the main issue we've seen, it's a conflict of CRDs and conflict of two controllers, right? And we don't want that.
So this would be full separation. full total separation.
Okay.
The K agent would bring it in as a subchart optionally if you want to do if you want like a one-click install. But you can also manage the Helm chart separately. They would have no reliance on each other. If Kagent doesn't pick up KMCP, it won't do any KMCP related things.
Okay.
So they would be functionally separate. They would work perfectly well
And from
together.
dependency point of view, is like Kagent will include dependency on the controller or
Yes.
anything, or okay?
No.
No.
It will pull in the CRDs to do discovery if the CRDs are available, but the controller will run entirely on its own.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
So yeah, no, we wanted to also, I made sure to address the actual problem, right? The original problem.
Yeah. Yeah, the original problem needs to be addressed because there was a conflict. People were not
Right.
able to install it at the same time on the same dev environment, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
And also, what I wanted to ask, just forgot it.
Sorry, I'm maybe missing some context. What was the original problem that we are trying to solve here?
So the original problem we're trying to solve is that, so if we take it back like a month, the problem we were trying to solve was that Kagent and KMCP didn't play well together. Because no, really, that's not yours. They didn't play well together because they both tried to install the same CRDs, which ended up in a lot of installation pain. And so we solved it by sort of combining the two projects. But in the weeks since then, we've realized that was a mistake, because people are actually very interested in KMCP, and the market is not yet at running agents. And so we want to have a better story, like the Kagent community. We want the Kagent org to have a better story for users who are coming specifically for MCP, and we think KMCP is a good use case, is good for that, and so we want to actually fully support both. And so yeah, that's the.
And when
so
you
the-
say markets, this analysis based on some public sources, or it's just your internal feedback?
I mean, if you look at okay, so it's I don't have public sources for you. This is what, again, I mean, this is coming from, yes, our experience at Solo, but if you look at the projects that are getting a lot of if you look at what's getting a lot of so there's two camps, right? There's like open source projects like LangGraph, ADK, things like that. They're getting they are getting exposure and popularity. But then if you look at where actual dollars and cents are being spent in organizations, it's on MCP servers for development, and things like that. And so from our perspective, we want to make sure that we have an answer for both. We do fully believe that agents are the future. There's no doubt, right? Agents and MCP servers go hand in hand. That's a given, right? We all know that.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think I'm understand.
So again, there's no big change in terms of Kagent or anything like that. This is all very much in line with things we've been talking about the whole time. It's just about the breakdown of projects and how they relate to each other. But yeah.
By the way, how will this play out in the UI, in the dashboard?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So right now, again, the UI will function the same. So if KMCP is available, it'll use it. And if it's not available, it won't, right? With the same as was always true. And then long term, we might have different, we're debating different experiences for the Kagent UI, or for KMCP. Does it need a UI? Should it just have a better CLI, right? There's no decisions have been made there. Again, it's just but for now, it shouldn't affect the UI at all because it's all, again, the UI will function the exact same as it always has.
Okay.
Cool. Peter, are you ready? If not,
I think I am. I mean, let's see. I haven't tried it.
I have another one. I have another one.
I
if
don't
you're
know.
not.
It's getting late here, so let me do the.
Well, I want to bring it up. Peter's been working
Yeah.
on a really cool feature lately that I think people will appreciate, and I think will make it. I just think it's something that we've needed for a while, and yeah, I think people will be pretty happy about this. So,
All right. Local development story. So I'm assuming you see my screen, right? I have one monitor, so.
only one.
Yes. All right, so I'll run the CLI and I'll, so this is the init command. We had this before. So what this one does, it will initialize an ADK Python project using the dice agent example. So it'll create the code for you. So let's run this one. Boom. So this created the dice folder here. It creates the agent, right? Just a simple agent. I think it does. It just rolls the dice, simulates rolling the dice. It has two functions there, two tools. What's new is that we added this MCP tools file here, and this is auto-generated. So what will happen is when I'll show you the command to add an MCP server to the project, this will then automatically update this file with the MCP server, and it will allow you to just dynamically include the tools from the MCP servers in your agent. There's also a Docker Compose file, so this will allow you to run your agent locally without having a Kubernetes cluster. So, all right, so let's do this. So let me show you the run command first. Oh, and this will fail because this needs to be localhost 5001. And I actually have to be in the dice folder to run it. So let's try again. And I have to go one folder up for the CLI. There you go. All right. So this will actually go, it'll build the images. It will run the Docker Compose files. If I do the Docker PS, you'll see that the Docker files should be up. So there's the agent. And then I should just say hello or what can you do? And this should actually call the run the agent. Fingers crossed. Come on. Please work. That's why you get 8 for forcing me to do a live demo. Well, you can. Why the heck is this not working now? Maybe we do this demo next time.
All right.
I don't know why it's not working. It should actually respond. There's nothing magical.
Hard question.
Yes.
What can you do?
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
is it like what can you do or like what can you do? Yeah.
Let me actually let me show you the other commands and you'll get an idea, right? So you could do so there's an add MCP command that we added. And from here, what you can do is you can specify model context protocol server everything, right? No args, no m's, and we'll just call it server everything. So what this one does is, and you can add like a UVX or remote MCP server as well. So this one created this folder. So it creates a separate folder for each MCP server that you add and a reference. And this one just contains the agent gateway configuration and a Docker file that basically copies over the config file. And then over here, you can see it added the MCP server. It added that entry into the MCP server's array. And if you would do run, which it works, but for some reason I can't talk to the agent.
And when you say talk to the agent, which client do you use for the A2A?
What do you mean, which client?
It uses
It's-
the local CLI.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's the local CLI, right? So I just don't know why it's not. I do have the environment variable. Oh, there you go. It works. Okay. I don't know what it was. Anyway,
Oh.
it basically said, "Hello, how can I help you today? Would you like me to roll some dice?" But remember, we added server everything, so I could theoretically ask it to add 5 and 6 because that server has the add function. There you go, right? So it knows how to do addition. I don't know what else is there. Can you echo hello? I think there's an echo command there as well. Yeah, there you go, right? So this is calling the MCP server, and the MCP server, you can see it here, it's running locally as well. So without any Kubernetes references. So that's the add. So the add MCP and the run. There's also the added the deploy command. So I'll just do a dry run, but then I can show you how to deploy it. It's the same thing. So this will create the secret for the API key, which I don't think it's right. Or, oh, it's right because I said my key. Never mind. So it creates the secret. It creates the actual agent that's referencing that secret, right? And then it creates the configuration for the MCP server. So now if I would do, let me do this. So API key, and I think it's Google API key, and I'll remove dry run. I have, so this will actually build everything. And then it's going to actually create the resources in my cluster. I think I have a cluster up and running. Yeah, I do. And then this will deploy the, what do we call it? Dice, right? Go, right? So it's going to take a while, but basically, yeah, that's the functionality here. So you don't need a Kubernetes cluster to start to test your ADK agent for now and MCP servers and tools, if that makes sense.
It's unbelievable, Peter.
I mean, it's all right.
We are 1 week from the next step of evolution when this agent will be able to create other agents, and
Oh, it's so funny. I told Peter, I was like, we need to start adding like agentic stuff into our CLI so that it can figure out, like, you can bring other LangChain or ADK code and say, hi, can you make this K agent friendly, please?
Exactly. I was researching this workflows recently, and I found this kind of pocket flow examples and kind of framework for quick prototyping on workflows and agents. And the first thing they did, they actually make it possible to generate agents just from the small text description.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think we should start, honestly, we should start adding more agentic stuff into our CLI.
I think it can be
things
also
that.
like MCP, by the way, because the generation could be like a more structured. You can say, okay, call the MCP and we'll get back, agent definitions and stuff like this. So I don't know.
Definitely.
Yeah, but you see, it's the server is still coming up, but it'll eventually, the agent is already running and it's deployed, and the server is running as well, right? So we were able to deploy it. So yeah, this is, as I said, ADK only for now. I think there's a lot of things that we can do extra. I think we should definitely add like templates for Crew AI, for LangGraph,
and
as well as declarative. Declarative would be interesting as well, right? If people, especially if you want to run it locally, right? Let's say you want quick agent for whatever that doesn't really need Kubernetes, maybe, right? And just want a quick declarative agent that you can run locally.
And basically, people don't need to go and do these things in like ADK and then copy paste it to other stuff. So I think the ultimate experience would be if you can achieve the same flow as you use ADK itself. And
Yeah.
what about ADK UI? Can we connect it, or those kind of UI with the context and other stuff?
ADK UI.
Like the one where you have the web interface where you see the context a bit, what's going on.
Like the whatever the ADK CLI has, you mean, right?
Yeah, if
No,
you do
well,
this ADK run with the web, right, you will get like a chat, you will get like a history of messages, the context, you can click and see different debugs. I think it would work.
I mean, it's A2A, so
yeah.
Work.
We can spin it up in the same setup that you have.
Yeah.
Just add another flag like -- web or something, and you can open it in the browser maybe.
The only thing is that would only work for ADK. Like, what if you started up with a lane graph agent or something?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not against it. I'm just saying, like,
however, we could do Kagent UI. That's a local pared down version of Kagent UI, right? That only allows you to like see the.
I think we need the UI which is a little bit more exposing the internals, like specifically the context, and the interaction.
Well, I think we just need that for our UI, right? Like, we need more of that in K. You know what I mean?
But Dimitri, I think you might be saying that we need like a UI that's more focused towards developers, maybe.
Yes, like a debugger, like an agent debugger, A2A inspector, these things.
Yeah,
right?
like traces, like whatever we can get. Yeah, that would be an interesting like add-on to this for sure.
Because imagine if I would generate agent with sub-agent with workflows, right? And I would need to see all this magic behind the scene and debug it. I would need some way to see it.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is in there's a PR that's open. I guess Eitan is not ready to merge because I want to check why it didn't work when there were no tools, and I think I know why, but anyway, yeah.
No, I mean, I'm ready to merge whenever you say it's ready.
Yeah,
So.
not ready yet. I'll
Okay.
Probably tomorrow.
Perfect.
My tomorrow, maybe you're late today.
And I think this will help a lot because we recently seen it's one of the bottlenecks when the team started to like onboarding with the Kagent. They were asking the same question: how can I do the development on my local? How I can start? We end up like saying, okay, let's start with ADK, and then we will move it
over later. Yeah.
This time, if we will have this built in and you can run it with Docker, it makes much shorter development cycle, feedback loop.
Yeah,
that's exactly what we need.
The other thing that I want to quickly mention in that add MCP UI, I showed you you can add MPX, UVX, or any other command that you want. You can point to a remote MCP, but there are other two options there. One that still need to be implemented. One is Docker, where you can just put in a Docker image that you want us to run as your MCP server. So you could bring theoretically any Docker image that has an MCP server, as well as the ability to. So the KMCP CLI allows you to create a KMCP MCP servers, right? Like a scaffold project. So that second option would be to point to the manifest YAML from a KMCP project. So you could theoretically create an agent project, then create an MCP server, like with code and everything, and deploy everything together or run it locally together, if that makes sense.
Yes, so it will create a config file in YAML, which is basically has a command which starts as Docker, right? For the
So if
it should be streamable HTTP or it should be STDIO? Is there a requirement for that?
When you create a Docker, it doesn't matter. It's all up to you because you can specify what is the Docker image as well as the command that you might want.
But will it recognize the port if I need also to to go with the port, or does this port should be in your Docker Compose?
It'll be in the Docker Compose. So we'll probably
Then
need a
you would
way.
need to use a service name inside and this, because it's a bit of tricky part.
I mean, there's like, I'm not saying there's still things that we need to think through specifically for like Docker images, pointing directly to Docker images, as well as pointing directly to like a KMCP project, right?
It's not magic, Dimitro. Come on.
No. I mean,
No. It's exactly the project I was like doing some time ago with just that only Docker and the agent gateway. I
Yep.
did exactly that exercise like some time ago, like 3 months ago or something, and I've seen that it's could be used just as a local development, right?
Yep.
And especially like if you want to start with different frameworks, different things, you may just want to play around. I think it's a great idea to have this all here now in the CLI.
Yeah, we're really excited. So this is why I pushed you to do a demo, Peter. I'm just kidding.
You will get a beta testers if you want.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Well, I'm glad y'all are so excited. Yeah, and let us know, definitely like what features would be most useful, because we agree. We think this is a really important feature going forward. So yeah, I love the idea of, again, like more agentic stuff in the CLI to help people with these tasks. But maybe that's actually useless, but it feels cool. But anyway, all right.
So
cool.
imagine in this CLI, if you add MCP, which is pointing to your Kagent, which has actually agent with knowledge and everything, how to generate and create stuff, like you can really enforce it by itself. So
yeah, or if if Kagent hosts an agent somewhere that's able to do these things and
exactly.
can get better over time. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
I think creating agents is a new trend, so let's go that. If you've seen that N8N and all this, they got like a huge boost after they release it MCP, and then you just say, okay, I want N8N flow for that, and it's like in few minutes, in 1 minute, you got like the entire flow, and that's a huge booster.
Speaking of, I wanted to see. Well, unless anyone has anything else on this specific topic, I had a third topic on there about workflows. So Dimitro posted the other day, which I think is really useful, that temporal. So does everyone here know what temporal is? No, I'll post a. Oh my God.
Yeah, there is a little bit of history. It's like the workflow engine that was developed originally, I think, in Uber or somewhere, then open source,
and then they spun it out,
going through many iterations. So basically,
no, I think the Uber one is different. The Uber one. Oh, I'm frozen. Oh my God.
I mean, we can hear you.
Can you? Oh,
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, okay. The Uber one is different. The Uber. Oh my God, I hate my computer. I need to set up my new computer.
not different. It was fork. It was actually
forked.
Yeah. So basically,
okay.
Temporal was forked in 2019, and then grown as open source and then like a separate project.
Got it. So I'll post it in the chat.
Yeah.
But essentially, it's a code first. It's a code first workflow engine, based in Go. And recently, I think maybe people are aware, maybe they aren't, that a lot of these agent frameworks are actually sort of becoming workflow engines. Like the line between agent framework and workflow engine is blurring, and it actually is appearing like the workflow engines are actually better poised to be agent frameworks than agent frameworks, because with the workflow is the hard part. The agent part is bullshit, right? And so this like N8N and Temporal are actually in amazing space to take over agentic, because all these things are just workflows. And so OpenAI has now a direct integration with Temporal, which I definitely recommend everyone looking at. And so Dimitro had spent some time looking at workflows in ADK, but yeah, I definitely like Temporal or the version in the CNCF. I don't know. Those things interest me a lot. I think, and N8N, unfortunately, for better or for worse, the license is completely
Yeah, it
locked.
doesn't allow, and this is something that people not understand. And if you're not sure, if you go just to any chat GPT and ask to explain licensing behind N8N, it will give you the clear picture that you can use it only for the non-profit. As soon as you go to profit and business related things, you must basically become a paid customer and so on. So it's not something that we can use in enterprise, in CNCF, and so on. Okay, so and that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
So if
Temporal,
it's
on the
not
other hand.
MIT, if it's not Apache, we have a huge problem.
Right. Temporal, on the other hand, is basically the other contender in the space. They're the other big winner, and yeah, they are they're very cool. And I definitely want to do more research in terms of what it would look like to integrate into Kagent as well.
So I have a visual representation of how it could look if we would go that route.
Bring it on.
Yeah, it's another project which is for cybersec. It's using Temporal and it's using agents. I just pasted in the chat. If someone can just open and share, Ethan, if you can.
Yeah.
We can discuss actually how we want to bring the the UI for workflows and all of that. But if you just look on the first screen, for example, where you see the UI with kind of workflows and agents, right? This thing is implemented using Temporal as well, and it's already embedded into the product. Temporal has its own UI. They have also UI from Temporal for like troubleshooting and looking into the things. An important understanding is they use multiple backends which you can implement. So you can implement the Postgres, you can implement Cassandra, you can implement Elasticsearch as a backend. The difference is it must be for production kind of like a transactional database. They don't work on top of eventual consistency,
Yeah.
They try to make it transactional, and it looks very similar to what we already have, because we already use the session storage as on top of database, which we use with Postgres. So basically rewriting our executor and so on, we can achieve more durable execution, which allows you to resume things automatically. You can define the policy. For example, if your tool call failed or agent call failed, you can resume it automatically when needed based on the policy. And also if pod is crashed and restarted, crash loop or anything, you will actually get automatic durability and ability to resume the session, resume everything, which is very important also in the workflow scenarios, because if you chain multiple agents in the workflow, you cannot keep everything on the request. Currently we are HTTP request based, right? So you make this request, it calls tools, it calls other stuff, it has some events and some stuff under the hood. But if it's broken, you're gone. You cannot have really like a nice resume for that. Okay, by implementing our executor with Temporal, we will get a lot of things for free: the UI, the execution, the engine, which basically improve the quality and make us more close to the production ready.
So do you know, like, yeah, okay. I mean, this is very, yeah.
I can go a bit deeper in technical if you're interested. I think we should look also in the way the OpenAI did implementation. I think they, if you see, they just add as kind of decorators in Python, which make this automatically, working in sort of temporal mode. We probably need to look a little bit in that as well and see how, how our code will look like. I would suggest to look if we could do it as well in a very similar like decorator style. Then we can also, switch different things, and so it will not be too much hard coded inside, but it will be really like a simple way to do it. And if someone will bring your own agent on the frameworks, they can use the same decorators if needed on the custom calls, custom code. I think that's the direction I see. At least we can go more deeper.
No, I agree. Yeah, I don't. What do others think? Personally, I don't want to build a workflow engine.
No.
Like,
Someone already did.
Right, exactly. Someone already built a good one. I just don't want to build my own.
There are dozens of them.
We know. Yeah.
This one seems to be getting the most. This one seems to be getting the most attention overall. That's open source friendly.
Yeah, I've stumbled upon it a couple of times before. I didn't have time to look at it. Yeah, good find, definitely.
And there is also the issue open in ADK. Someone already asked them about the implementation for temporal, like from ADK side.
Yep.
I think this is something that we need to watch if that's going to happen, or we can implement it on our side. This is for me one of the things that I would like to understand better.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I put on hold currently whatever I did with the workflow agents until we clarify a little bit the temporal story, because I think it's changed the whole implementation, how we can implement it and so on.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think that's fair. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. And another thing in general, since I wanted to ask, because there will be like a KubeCon, right? Very soon.
Mm-hmm.
People are preparing, and like they do demos, they do other stuff. I would suggest we consider like not a code freeze, but kind of a light freeze period, maybe for big features, unless it's absolutely necessary for the KubeCon demo itself. Because if we would just bring now things like temporal this week, for example, this will affect all the solo demos and all the guys and girls working on all of that. What do you think? Should we be careful with that, or they will just take a tag which is older one? Because
I think for demos, people can figure. So I think a couple of things. I think it's a good idea, definitely. But if someone's building a demo, they're probably going to be on a branch anyway. But in general, I think my personal opinion would be we should merge Peter's changes and merge the KMCP thing, and then do an 070 because that's a break.
Yeah.
And then stop there.
Exactly. And I think we should make kind of like an internally for us clear, like the timeline, because if anyone will be spending time preparing and polishing all of that, and suddenly they will be broken by backward compatibility, it's not good.
Yeah,
we can wait 1 week for big changes later and do it after KubeCon, no question. But I think
I think that's a good idea. Okay, let me write that down.
By the way, who's coming to KubeCon?
Me.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
I'll be there.
I'll see you in Atlanta. I think, did Sarah say she? I think Sarah, I don't know if she's still here, but.
Yeah, I'm coming on too.
Nice.
Cool. We have a party, right?
Yes, I do.
Can we still clarify one issue? I just remember it, and then again, it's more for Peter probably. And if we will investigate the workflow, and like you mentioned, we have like ADK, maybe temporal, maybe like different other workflow engines and frameworks. Does it mean that we need a separate UI for kind of like workflow builders, or this workflow visualization? Because and like Landgraph and other guys, they have editors, they have this different things, viewers, editors for workflow itself. And
personally, I don't think we should have a separate. I don't know if you can hear me because my screen is
Yeah.
frozen.
yeah, I
but
can hear you.
We're gonna hear
personally,
you.
I would say the same. It can be a different section in the UI, but I don't think we should.
Yeah.
People get confused if there are too many things.
And it shouldn't be like we don't have to start with the UI either, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we do have tracing. Tracing will definitely help, but I do agree we should, like, at some point have figure out a long term how the UI would look like with workflows, right, in the mix. Because there's way
because
more-
workflows, not necessary workflow will be started with chat. We have Khook, we have chat, we have maybe some other ways to trigger it, right, in future. And another thing, workflow not necessarily calling only agents and tools. It may call some API or some other, future nodes which are, implementing different features. And from that point of view, like we've seen already, like conditional nodes, they pretty popular. Even in OpenAI demo, they have it. And so basically, sorry, something. So basically, we would need to have kind of like unified UI with different types. Guys, I need to drop. I have something urgent. Okay, sorry.
No, go.
Yeah,
See you later.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye, Dimitro.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I mean, going forward, I mean, I'd love for Kagent UI to just be like a go-to spot. That sounds good to me. Yeah. But, okay. I don't know what's happening. My Safari is completely frozen. All right. We can't even end the call. All right. Anybody else? They want to talk about? I really need to set up my new computer. I've just been putting it off because they have all this new device management stuff that I don't want to deal with.
Nothing
Nope.
from me.
Cool. Well, then I'll see everyone next week.
All right.
Talk to you later.
See ya.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.